Yuri Slavkovsky gets his first power play goal of his career. Cole Caufield pots two more on his chase for 50 goals. And to top it all off, Christian Dvorak gets his first career hat trick. Me and Jesse are here to break all that down for you. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to the Habs vs. Blues game reaction on Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, alongside my co-host, Jesse Poirier. And Jesse, before we get into the video, just a very quick reminder, over 90% of you guys still aren't subscribed. We are so close, under 40 subs away from 1,000 subscribers. So if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, if you want daily Habs content, we got your back. All right, Jesse, that was a fun game. Final score 7-4 for Montreal. An offensive explosion like nothing we've seen so far this year. Everyone was getting involved tonight, but the guy that we have to start with is Yuri Slavkovsky. We've been calling for him to be on the power play all season long. We thought we needed to change something up. This power play is terrible, and what do you know? His first game on the power play, he pots his first power play goal on a beautiful one-timer.
And I think you've been calling for that, Josh, to get Slavkovsky on the power play. Am I right with that?
Oh, for sure. All season long.
And he just ripped it.
He did. Top shelf. And you know, we've been calling him by a certain name, and we're prepared today. SLAFZILLA is officially in effect. His first goal. The man is ready to terrorize the streets of Montreal, sending that laser out, destroying all the haters. SLAFZILLA is here to stay. He's gonna be on the power play again. I'm so excited to see him score again. Jesse, I couldn't be more happy with how this game turned out. We'll get into these other guys later, like Caufield and Dvorak, but seeing Slavkovsky, even though he was on the fourth line again, it's his second goal in 2 games, by the way, because he missed those last 3 games. Second consecutive game with a goal, and it came exactly where we wanted it to come on the power play.
Yeah, we're starting to see him roll now. He's starting to get adjusted to the pace of the play, which of course is much different from the NHL to other leagues around the world. So there's a little bit of that adjustment, but is he ever not wasting any time from there? And we knew with Slavkovsky that he has amazing playmaking, he has great vision on the ice, but what we wanted to see, is just that shot just getting unleashed, and we're seeing that now.
He's a big, strong guy. For you baseball fans, you know, that quote might ring familiar from Pete Alonso. Big, strong guy. He can hurt someone if he wants to. 6'4". We knew he had a hard shot. If he was just putting the puck in the right spot, that heavy wrister in his goal against Arizona last week, but this perfectly set up slap shot. I mean, there was no chance for Binnington. We knew if he was put in a position to take these shots, and that position was not really on the fourth line of Montreal, he'd be able to succeed. And I would, you know, we're saying how much we'd love to see him even on higher lines. We see that Marty St. Louis is no stranger to messing with some lines, just looking at what combinations work and what don't. For example, tonight, we had Cole Caufield, Nick Suzuki, and Kirby Dach on the top line, and they had incredible chemistry. We saw some great chemistry tonight from Dvorak and Gallagher, who have played together a lot. So who's to say that, you know, we can't move Dach back down with, like, I don't know, Monahan or something. Maybe we move Slavkovsky up onto that Monahan line. I don't know. I think he deserves a shot with some better playmakers, some other better guys around him, because tonight, when put in the position to succeed, he really did.
Absolutely. And I think that's all that Marty St. Louis was waiting to see as well, was just a couple goals, get his confidence up, and then we're going to see him. I'm just so happy about this goal tonight because this is really going to propel him onto some higher lines. But that being said, I did like Kirby Dach on that first line quite a bit. What was your thoughts of having him there, Josh?
I thought there was a ton of chemistry. I thought he brought a nice element of size. I mean, we've seen Caufield and Suzuki run with Anderson before, so it felt a little similar. But Kirby Dach is, I would say, less aggressive in his physicality than Josh Anderson, but he's a lot more fluid, and I think he complements that line a lot better while still bringing the size that you want. I thought the flow of that first line was better than I've seen maybe all season so far, so I'm really excited to see that again. But with that said, I thought all 4 lines tonight, of course we saw Pezzetta get in there for the first time. I thought his hustle was great, but all 4 lines tonight were working together, and you know, a great way to see how it was working together. In that third period, Christian Dvorak had 3 goals in a period. I mean, that line with him and Gallagher and Josh Anderson on the other wing was working wonders tonight. I thought their hustle was incredible. Gally the entire night. Now, he could have had a goal early. Dvorak set him up beautifully. Gally just tapped. It was a wide open net. He tapped it just wide. But that whole line the whole night was working great on the offensive and defensive end. So much hustle. And really, one of those Dvorak goals, arguably two of them, it was Gallagher's just pure hustle and Anderson's good positioning that led to these opportunities. And man, I was just so impressed all around. What were your thoughts on that line tonight, especially in the third period?
Yeah, my thoughts on it were, like you mentioned early on in the game, we're getting a really close chance for just a tap in real early. So my first thoughts are, when you're getting your first chance on net as being a really high quality scoring opportunity, that this is going to be a high scoring game. That was my first thought as soon as I saw that. So it took us a little bit of a while to get into a rhythm, of course, tying it up, going into the second. Blues did take some control for that first part of the second period, but we just showed such resiliency. As we say, 2-goal lead is the worst lead in hockey. And the Habs really showed that tonight by coming back. I'm just so happy. I just love seeing Gallagher looking so juiced on the bench. And I mean that figuratively, of course.
Yes.
But just being confident, pumped on the bench. He just has a certain swag about him, right? When his team's playing well and everything like that. So, I just love seeing that.
Yeah, these guys, like you said, the pace was pretty fast from the get-go. St. Louis certainly had control in the first period. I was worried we were going to come out of the first period down 1-0, and I think if we did, this game would have gone a lot differently. I think that Suzuki tip-in goal, whether his tip was intentional or not, was such a difference maker in this game. Because after that, St. Louis scored, but we had something like 5 unanswered goals after we went down by 2, and the guys just played great. I remember when we got our first power play there in the second period, and I saw SLAFKOVSKY on the second power play, I almost jumped out of my seat. That was as exciting as a SLAFKOVSKY goal for me. It was just so much hype. And honestly, he played really, really well, and Montreal's power play just started rolling. There were some big hits this game, not only from Montreal, but for St. Louis. Cole Caufield got tossed to the ice a couple times, one time notably by Justin Falk, just demolished. But guess who got the last laugh? We spoke a bit about Dvorak, we spoke about SLAFKOVSKY, but Cole Caufield had 2 goals tonight, one on the power play, and that's one of the lower storylines in tonight's game. After these guys having incredible nights, Montreal's power play finally got back on track, and again, it was that 5-forward first power play. That first SLAFKOVSKY goal was on the second power play, but that second power play, Nick Suzuki comes in again, as you mentioned in many game recaps. Suzuki is so deceptive with his moves. He'll slowly skate in, draw the defense in. As the announcers were saying, he was never looking to shoot. He was waiting for the moment Caufield broke backdoor. Perfect cross-ice pass. Caufield pots it top shelf. Now, Caufield fanned on a few shots this game, missed the net a few times, but you knew when he had these opportunities, he was going to pot them.
Absolutely. He's looking amazing. And if we're seeing him playing this good so early in his career, just imagine a couple years from now. But what a leap in confidence that we've seen from just last year to this year, right? Isn't it amazing? Just every time he gets on the ice, he's on pace for 56 goals right now? Just something ridiculous.
If my math is correct, Cole Caufield is on pace for 63 goals this season, Jesse.
Wow.
He has 7 goals in 9 games. Him and Suzuki each have 10 points through 9 games. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. His confidence has been through the roof, like you said. And, it's not just him, though. We got to say, Suzuki's ability to set him up and know exactly where he's going to be is just amazing. I don't know if you, what were your thoughts that first Caufield goal, where Suzuki fell down as he shot the puck? Do you think he shot that at Binnington, or do you think he tried to hit it off the boards behind the net to ricochet right to Caufield for the goal? Because it kind of looked like on a replay, that might have been what happened.
He's such an intelligent player that honestly you can never put it past him. But they were basically just firing on all cylinders, and that's the main takeaway from me from this game. Is just this top line was buzzing. Doc, as you mentioned, even with that first goal from Suzuki with that point shot from Harris, which got deflected, as Doc's getting in the way. He's kind of creating this turnover, that big body where now, okay, we're able to keep the puck in the offensive zone and then make something happen. So the top line buzzing, and then the special teams, really coming out to play. Like our penalty kills been one of the best in the league the whole year, but now with our power play, making some adjustments, and we're starting to see that playing well. Like we're playing this good, missing our 2 best, most experienced defenseman, which, as we know, is one of the most important positions in the game of hockey. So, we're off to an amazing start so far.
4-3, and we're beating good teams. Like, we beat Pittsburgh, we beat Toronto. I mean, and we won tonight against St. Louis. Like, it's just been, I don't know, it's been surprising. Like, part of me wants Bedard, but like, if we're playing at this level and we can keep rolling off wins, especially 7-goal games, like offensive outbursts from such a young, relatively inexperienced team, like you said, missing their top 2 defensemen is almost unheard of. Like, we're playing extremely well. Well, speaking of, some guys that were missing and coming back, I wanted to talk a little bit about Yoel Armia. And even though I don't believe he put up a point tonight, I may have missed it, but I feel like whenever he's on the ice, his presence is felt. He is just, his hands are some of the best in the league, if you ask me, and his ability to just constantly pressure the puck and cycle the puck, hold it in the offensive zone is unparalleled. Plus, he has a hard shot. I just felt like, it almost felt like he played 25 minutes, even though he didn't, because it feels like, to me, I don't know if you feel the same, that every time he's on the ice, good things seem to happen.
Yeah, Marty St. Louis said recently in an interview that he feels that Joel Armia has a very high ceiling. And so he does have lots of potential. And then we'll see that where he just goes on flashes of just amazing play. But we know he's a great two-way player. So I'm happy just to see him skating, playing with an effort. But it seemed like I really enjoyed the lineup tonight. No offense to the healthy scratches that we had tonight, and Jonathan Drouin, in Evgeny Dandidov, in Rem Pitlick. But I thought every player that was in the lineup tonight was skating. We're even seeing Hoffman, blocking some shots. I don't know how I feel about him running the point on the power play, but I'll definitely give him the credit for blocking the shot, staying in the lane, showing a little bit of character there. So Marty, they're buying into the system.
They are, and even like after the second game of the season, Jesse, that was the common theme that we kept speaking about. If these guys can buy into the system, the sky's the limit for the team. We saw it last year, and we're really seeing it this year. I think we got to roll with essentially the same lineup come our next game. I don't know about or what you think. I mean, maybe we could swap out Pezzetta for maybe a Pitlick or just for a bit of extra penalty killing or something. But I mean, these guys rolled. They played great, and every single player tonight contributed, it felt like. I mean, whether even it was just physicality, like I know in that second period, I don't know if you caught this, I think I saw a tweet during one of the commercial breaks, Arbor Jacki came off the bench and did a lap around the rink because of all the power plays and penalty kill time or power play time for Montreal. He only had 3 shifts until like almost the end of the second period, so he needed to be back out there, but like he was super physical tonight. Gooley had some nice hits. He got hit a couple times too. Suzuki got into almost a fight. It was a scrum. I didn't expect him to really be that physical there late in the third. They both went off. I think Suzuki got the extra minor. But man, everyone was clicking tonight. And I think Dvorak, this was such a great opportunity for him to just finally get rolling. These were his first 3 goals of the season, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he might have even only had 0 or maybe 1 point throughout the season so far, and an explosion tonight. That first goal, a bit lucky, bounced off a defenseman. Second goal, beautiful tip just under the bar, and an empty netter from almost the full rink. When guys are rolling like this, when you get a 7-goal game, your team gains confidence. They gain confidence in each other. They gain confidence in the coach and his concepts, not systems. I won't say systems. But most importantly, these guys gain confidence in themselves. And especially for a young team, when a bad game can really swing your perspective, if you're a young player and you mess up, that is the most important thing.
That's so true. And, SLAFKOVSKY being at the center of that, he's big, he's mean, and he's already a legend, so happy for seeing SLAFZILLA, getting that goal tonight. Do you feel that they should send him down after his 9-game kind of period that he has for his entry-level contract? Or do you think that they should keep him up with the main club?
I've said before that I think Montreal probably will keep him up, even if that's not a common opinion. My personal opinion is I think they should keep him. I think it'd be fun. I don't care. Like, I understand that, there's value in putting him in Laval. And I also understand that in the past, Montreal's prospects who have been rushed have played too much in the NHL, in high-pressure situations, haven't developed as much as we've wanted them to. Guys gain confidence when they go down and dominate. But it feels like SLAFKOVSKY doesn't really need that level of confidence to his game. It feels like he just needs these opportunities, because we've seen as soon as he's put into these good opportunities, he is producing, he is performing. So maybe my opinion will change before his 9 games hit. I'd like to see him on some higher lines, get some more opportunities where he can, get a chance to pot another couple one-timers or something, get close range to the net. But as of now, I'd like to see him stay. I know that's not a popular opinion. I know people want to make sure that this guy, our first overall pick, is going to be a superstar for the future. But I just think that with the way Marty St. Louis coaches, with the pure confidence that Slafkovsky has already, I think that some more NHL time could be good for him. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, there's something special about this kid, and we've kind of talked about, but just the hype leading up to the draft. I don't feel that there would be such a hype around him unless there was something really, really special about him. I know going in, I was, researching, looking up about Shane Wright. I was super excited. But then once I started hearing all this hype about Slav and starting to do some research, I realized there is something really special to him. And just hearing him talk and just a general, I don't know how else to better put it, Josh, but just like a gut feeling about the guy. But this guy is just going to be a superstar for sure. Give him a little bit of time. We know he's in a pressure cooker of an environment in Montreal, but we're here to tell you right now, Uri, that we love you. You're playing amazing. You're doing a great job. So I just think that this is so good for our confidence all the way around. Like, I had mentioned in our last pod that, Dvorak, he has to go off at some point, right? This is a guy where, even last year, he had a little bit of an off year. He's still a great 200-foot player, but he's going to get his points. He's going to get his goals, and if we're getting this far in the season, he hasn't got anything. I mean, just the law of averages. You had to know he was going to pop off this game, so just really happy to see that. And, just a good time for the team to come together on the road, get a big character win like this. And it's really what our young core needs at this time.
It is. We needed a big steamroll of a game against a formidable opponent in St. Louis. These guys are not to be messed with. Stanley Cup champions just a few years ago. I know there's been some roster turnover, but they're still a strong playoff team. And Montreal just, after the first period, they manhandled them tonight. It just felt like domination. I mean, Jake Allen didn't have his best game, and it didn't even matter. And that's crazy. Because usually we expect our goalies to need to play pretty well for us to win. Allen was fine tonight. I don't think many of the goals were his fault, but wasn't his best game, wasn't his worst. And Montreal still came out with a hefty 3-goal win. Yeah, like you said, something special about Slafkovsky. We saw maybe the first of many power play goals tonight. I'm really, really excited to see the next few games with him as we approach that 9-game mark. We'll be watching him super, super closely. But yeah, I could not have been happier with how this game went. It had a bit of everything. Offensive explosion, just what Montreal needed. Get some of the guys who were going slow, like Dvorak, get them going with a nice first career hat trick. Our number 1 overall pick getting a power play goal. And our boys, Caufield and Suzuki, getting a number of points each, with Caufield potting 2 goals. Power play back on track. There are no negatives to tonight's game. Maybe a bit better defense. Don't let St. Louis score 4 goals, but hey, we take what we can get. Do you have any final thoughts, Jesse, before we end off this game reaction?
No, I think you summed it up perfectly, my friend.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. As always, Jesse, it's been a pleasure. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Help us hit that 1,000. We are so close. You can say you were part of the first 1,000 when we eventually blow up and take over Montreal Canadiens YouTube. I'm Just Gosse for Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next video.